He looked like an undercover drug agent from New York City, and he talked like one. He was the only person that ever got a job with the Texas prison system by going undercover in prison to root out a violent situation that existed there. I heard that early on. I was sold on Moriarty.
Everybody thinks all murderers are the same. Well, that's not the case. Oh, this guy was a sexually sadistic serial killer. When we looked at the files right away, we thought it was very unusual that he got out. To see an individual that was on death row twice, to be released, it hadn't happened in the history of Texas, to my knowledge. During Granberry's investigation, we found that Granberry had received 2 vehicles from the father of a parolee for getting him released. When you look at the big picture, you know, you've got parole board members that are out there running amok, shaking down people for money. It was evident that they were selling paroles. And it's always cash, of course. I mean, there ain't no checks written for this kind of stuff. There were lists that came out on releases about who was going to be released this week, that type of thing. Granberry would reach out to the individual whose family was on the outside and shake them down for a fee.
John Moriarty is spending 40 hours with McDuff trying to get any hint of where Colleen Reed's body might be so you could give some sort of relief to the family.
McDuff says he's got a toothache. Well, a bulb goes off with me. Well, I said, hey, let me see if I can help you out, you know, but here's the deal. If I help you out, you need to tell us where Colleen's body is. He agrees to it. They fixed his tooth. He was happy, came down and then drew us a map and told us where he buried her. There's a team of several correctional officers, 5 or 6, that escort him. Very rarely do you see them being fought into that chamber. They don't want to look bad to the other inmates that are on death row. He's going to go out like a man. He's brought into the room and strapped down onto the gurney. The warden is standing at the head of the bed, and the chaplain is standing at the foot of the bed with his hand on his leg. The warden's talking to him at the time. He asks him if he has anything that he wants to say, a statement to make.
McDuff was taken by inmates to a prison cemetery nearby. An anonymous marker on the grave that only has his death row number.
You know, most cops don't have the experience of going after the worst of the worst. And in our job, there was no such thing as somebody wanted for littering or some minor offense. You know, they were truly bad guys that did bad things to good people. And so it was the best end of you know, of truly, you know, catching bad guys that are hurting people.